Good morning, everybody. This is Jen. It's Monday morning, and I'm sorry about that. There's not much I can do about it, but I do have a video to show you today, and this is another Bunny and Steve book. It's an altered book that I did with an old Pippi Longstocking book, and it's going to boarding school with Bunny and Steve. So I will open that in a minute. There is this little packety thing that I made out of an old envelope. It says, "You were made perfectly to be loved, and surely I have loved you in the idea of you my whole life long." That's Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And a lady said on one of my videos, she made a comment and she said, "You should make a little stuffed bunny to go along with your video." And I thought, well, that's a really good idea. However, it was harder than I thought. And I had to enlarge a picture of Bunny, and then I couldn't transfer the face and stuff because I didn't have the right kind of material, which I am going to order from Amazon. So anyway, I made this homemade bunny. He's in this packet. He's not very good, but I worked so hard on him that he is going with the journal, whether anybody likes him or not. So, without any further ado, here is Bunny. And Bunny is made of cotton fabric. I just, like drew his features on his face and stuff. And I tried to sew it on the inside and then flip it, but the neck part was too tiny and I couldn't get the stuffing in his head. So believe me, this was harder than the journal. And I got a few little things down here, a key and a heart, hanging on a bulb pin on some sari silk. And this is Bunny, and he is going with the journal. Okay, enough about that. So this is the book. Very, very, very fat. There's a lot of stuff in here, and, if you want the book to be thinner, you can take out all of the extras and put them, in that envelope or something, and then the book would close better. Anyway, I left the cover of Pippi Longstocking, and I got to boarding school with Bunny and Steve. And then there's Bunny and Steve right there on the cover, all dressed up in their little suits with their little luggage with them, ready to go to boarding school. And the back is just plain yellow. I didn't do anything to it. And the spine is just, So basically the cover is pretty much the same. So we open it up, and I got this really cute little fabric down here with the elephant and stuff, and it had a bunch of nursery rhyme type things. This is old dictionary paper. Here is a little envelope that I made out of, this is actually paper towels, and when I used them to rust my metals, it got all weird looking. So I thought it was kind of cool, and I stamped on it. I learned that trick from Michelle Mulligan, and it turned out pretty cool. But anyway, so this is a little envelope, and it's got old book pages on the inside, actually some from this book. And inside there is a little booklet, and it says Mother, and this is a picture of the boy's mother. She has a lovely earring and some pearls on. And, even though the boys are excited about boarding school, this is going to be their first time away from home, so they're a little bit nervous. And then there's a little bunny inside here. And actually, my dentist gave me that because she had gone to Thailand and she knew I did junk journals, and she thought I would like to have that little stamp. So that came all the way from Thailand. And here is place for journaling. And it says, "Mama Rabbit loves her babies, but a rabbit mommy is not the same as a human mommy. While we have trouble letting go, Mama Rabbit has no choice but to move them along. Since Bunny and Steve were born, Mama has had 17 more litters. She needs the twins' bedroom for new babies. This doesn't mean that she loves them any less. only that she needs the space. It's just the way things are done in the rabbit world. So Mama needs to move those boys out. And here's a little card with a heart, says Mama. And inside, the boys took a picture of themselves and said, "We love you, Bunny and Steve." It says, "What one loves in childhood stays in one's heart forever." And there's their little bunny butts. So that is their little thing to Mama, who they will never forget, because you always remember your mother, good or bad. And the first page here is the twins, and they are having a picnic, and they are laying down on a blanket with some pillows for their heads, and they are just relaxing in the sunshine. And this says, here's a little thing in here. Oh, this is a ticket. These are some biking goggles, and the boys found this, and they thought they were so cool, and they wanted to look cool at school, and they begged Mama for these new biking goggles, and she got them for them, but we found out they're just a little bit roomy for little bunnies. So that's Bunny with his new biking goggles. But what I am more concerned with is I am trying to find the paper that goes in here. This is very strange. Let me check it here. Hello? I know there's... Oh, wait a minute. It might be down in here. Let me... This is awkward. This is why I never consider my my videos very professional, because we have these issues that crop up, like the backdrop falls over, and you know, just things like that, well, it's just embarrassing, but you know what are you gonna do? So life is difficult sometimes, and I am getting the paper out. It's a difficult process. Please bear with me. I promise you it'll be worth it, I hope. Come on, little paper. I don't even know how you got stuck down there. This is craziness. You were not supposed to do this. Okay, hold on. I think I got it. The weather here is really warm today. I'm just filling up the time. Here we go. My goodness. Okay, this fell down. It was supposed to be inside this little pocket, and how it got down there, I have no idea, but I will make sure that does not happen again. Okay. Before it's time to pack for boarding school, the boys enjoy a picnic at their favorite spot by the pond. "Hey, look," said Bunny. "That cloud looks like a Ferris wheel." "Are you crazy?" replied Steve. "It's an elephant." The boys looked at each other and dissolved into giggles. This was their favorite game. They never saw the same thing in the clouds. Bunny hoped there would be clouds at boarding school. So, there's the elephant that Steve saw, and here's the Ferris wheel that Bunny saw. It says, "There's a garden in every childhood, an enchanted place, where colors are brighter, the air softer, and the morning more fragrant than ever again." And I am going to leave this tag out so that I can make sure it doesn't fall down there anymore. Okay, and this page is Bunny and Steve. They live in a hollow with their mom and all of their brothers and sisters, and this is them getting ready to spend their last night at home in their little beds. And actually, the words in the book were just perfect for what I wanted. and it said, winter stores, which were visible everywhere, took up half the room. Piles of apples, turnips, and potatoes, baskets full of nuts, and jars of honey. But the two little white beds on the remainder of the floor looked soft and inviting, and the linen on them, though coarse, was clean and smelt beautifully of lavender. And I thought, well, that's just lovely. So I went ahead and left that in there. But that's what the boys, that's where they slept all these years, and that's their bedroom. And you take this out. There's one of those, oh, I don't know what you call those, glassine bags behind there, I guess. And this is a little, I don't know what it is, a little made-up pocket thing. And you open it up like this. It's got, like, you know, you close it. You can close it by putting that flap under. And then this says, Bunny and Steve's last night in the burrow. And that goes down here, and then there's a little tiny thing that says American Bittersweet. And then here, there's a little pamphlet thing. There's some stitching on it, lots of just little bits and pieces, and it says, the wall is silence, the grass is sleep, tall trees of peace their vigil keep, and the fairy of dreams with wings unfurled plays soft on her flute to the drowsy world. And there's just a little heart and some stuff on the back. And that goes down in here. And on the back we have another little booklet, and this is got a bird on it from my friend Cindy McDermott. And in here, all of this is journaling space. I am telling you, I really took it to heart when somebody said my journals weren't very journally. So I did some stamping on the pages, but other than that, they are blank for all of your journaling needs. So what do you think about that? And then inside here, this is a picture of where the boys lived in this big tree over here on the side. Underneath the tree, under the roots, that's where their house was. And this is, let's see, here we go. Under the big tree on the left is the burrow where the twins live. They are taking this picture for when they are homesick. 9 years old is very young to go to boarding school, but that is when all rabbits leave for school. Boarding school is free for all rabbits, and Mama doesn't want any dumb bunnies hanging around. The twins are really happy they have each other. Last year, their brother Henry was so nervous about leaving, he threw up all the way to the ship. So, the boys are getting ready to leave, and I can only imagine how difficult it would be at such a young age. Although I do think that bunnies probably mature a little bit faster than human children. So, and here we have a picture of the boys in a canoe at night taking a little ride on the pond. And here is a little index cardy thing, and it's got a bunch of, I don't know, ephemera stuff, tissue paper. This was some stuff about the ride on the river that I took out of the book, and it was pretty cool. And this says, shh, don't tell Mama. The twins sneak out of the burrow to row down the river in their little tiny boat. Tomorrow they will be leaving for school, and they are really nervous. The gentle lapping of water against the boat is soothing. They make a wish on a star and begin to relax. So the boys they can't sleep. They're just a little bit nervous about their trip tomorrow. So that's what they used to do. They would sneak out of the burrow and get on their little tiny boat and go for a trip down the river, which Mama would have had a fit because it's not safe for bunnies outside after dark. And here is some like lavender and basil, and just, it was a napkin decoupage, and then I put tissue, like pattern paper over it to kind of soften it a little bit. And here's a page called The Truth About Verbena. And so this is a story that you need to hear as well. Here's Verbena and Bunny and Steve. And it says, this is a long video, I'm sorry to say. Anyway, the boys both knew who they would miss the most. Their little sister, Verbena. She's 5 years old and everyone calls her Bean. No one has told her yet that she is adopted, but that will have to be addressed soon. She's starting to ask when her ears will start to grow and why she isn't a better hopper. Mama found her one day in a little basket in the middle of a patch of verbena. Mama isn't very clever with names since she has had to come up with so many. So she was, from that day forward, known as Verbena. We were just happy she wasn't found in a patch of monkshood or wolfsbane. She is sweet and loving and kind, and we all love her. Mama says she's pure sunshine. So yes, Bean will surely be missed. And there's a lovely picture of her in her lovely little dress. And then behind that, here is a little glassine envelope. And you open that up, and there's this is just a tag. And on this one, it says, Verbena is delivering this basket of eggs to Grandpa. You may have heard of him. His name is Easter Bunny. Grandpa is who Bunny is named after. And here is a little tiny thing about Easter bunnies. And it says, Grandma won't let Grandpa have candy, but when he's making Easter baskets, he sneaks a bunch. He loves being the Easter Bunny. So that goes in there, and then it all goes back in this envelope behind Verbena. So then we have this page. I left that blank because it's a 1957 copyright date on the book, and I thought that was kind of cool. And then I filled in the edges with napkin decoupage. And this page is about a forest, so I thought, you know, there was a lot of flowers and birds and stuff like that. This page, here's our friends down here, and they wanted to go to the forest because they wanted to get a blessing for their trip from the Lady of the Woods. So it says, Bunny and Steve went to see the Lady of the Forest to seek her blessing on their journey. She appeared before them with a gentle smile on her face. She was so beautiful. She began to speak. Surely you aren't bopping field mice on the head, are you, Bunny? The boys stared at her with a quizzical expression. Haven't you ever heard the tale of your cousin, Little Bunny Foo-Foo? The twins shook their heads. The lady laughed and continued. Little Bunny Foo-Foo came through the forest nearly every day, scooped up the field mice, bopped them on the head. I had to reprimand him constantly. The neighboring children even made up a song about it. I'm happy to see, Bunny, that you are not a field mouse head bopper. They all agreed that yes, that was for the best. Here is your blessing. The boys knelt down and she placed her hands on their bowed heads. Bunny and Steve, I bestow upon you these blessings. Safe travels, good health, the sweetest of dreams, and exciting adventures, all the chocolate you desire, chamomile-scented socks from the garden at home, to be worn or used to brew a cup of tea, and your brother always by your side. Bunny and Steve thanked the Lady of the Forest and handed her a packet sent by their mother with fresh bread and currant jam, handmade in the burrow. The lady bent down and gave each bunny a kiss on their nose. The bunnies blushed fiercely and ran as fast as they could back to the burrow. So that was their encounter with the Lady of the Forest. And here's a little tree. It says, into the forest I go to calm my mind and soothe my soul. So now the boys got that part done. And now they are ready to board the ship. And as you can see, they are getting just a little seasick because they're all green. And it says, "3 cheers," cried the people on the dock. "Pull in the gangplank." "It's time to come aboard," called the captain. "Put out the gangplank." "Aye, aye, Captain. All aboard." And here's their tickets. And it says, "See the world." And in this little tiny envelope, it says, "The boys become seasick." I wouldn't like that very much. I've actually never been on a ship, but I've heard that that's prevalent. And here is what their cabin looks like, and their pass. And there's a little compass and an anchor and like the steering wheel thing. And here is a monocle so they can see things better. And I happened to put in a piece of dictionary paper, and it had port on it. A harbor, a haven, or safe station for vessels. So that was kind of cool. Sometimes that happens, and it's always such a surprise. And here's a little tag. And it says, "I am thankful for my struggles, because without them I wouldn't have stumbled across my strength." So the boys are trying to make the best of the fact that they're probably throwing up over the edge of the ship. And in here is a little booklet. And, oops, it's upside down. Okay, and there's an X and an O on it. And it says, "The boys stood on deck of the ship with their mouths hanging open." What was this? They were told they were going to England across the pond. But this wasn't a pond or a river or even a lake. This was water forever. They couldn't even see the other side. They went down to their cabin and laid down on their bunks with a cold compress over their eyes, just like Mama told them to if they should become overwrought. Bunny and Steve decided this was, by far, the worst case of overwroughtness there had ever been. After about 20 minutes, Bunny got up and made a cup of tea for both of them with their chamomile sock. So there's the boys laying down in their bunks with a cold compress from all the shock. Okay. And then, oh, we have a picture here. This actually came out of the book. It's Pippi Longstocking causing a lot of trouble. And here's the boys right in the middle of it. And there is a little, I don't know if that opens or not. Anyway, here's a little envelope. And it says, oh, it's actually a heart. And you fold it to look like an envelope. When Bunny and Steve finally started to feel better, Bunny said it's called getting your sea legs. They met some other children on board to play with. One of the girls reminded them of Verbena. They were really missing Verbena. This girl's name was Pippi. She always thought up the best games and managed to get all of them into the most trouble imaginable. So that's what happened there. And then this page has like all of this stuff in here. It's like a pocket, and it says life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. And up here it says enjoy the journey. So in the pocket, it says this is a captain's table. This was one of their meals. Bunny ordered carrot cake, pancakes, carrot juice, and a side of carrots, and Steve had the same thing. So their mother told the boys to save lots of memorabilia from their journey so they could make a nice scrapbook of their adventures. This was the only guest check they saved, though, because they ate the same thing for every meal. So, and then there is a whole bunch of journaling space on the back. Okay, so that goes in there, and then this is, let's see, I don't know what's in here. This is a little piece of paper. It says, as you journey through life, choose your destinations well, but do not hurry there. Wander the oceans, the back roads, and forgotten paths. Seek out new voices, strange sights, and ideas foreign to your own. Such things are riches for the soul. So, and this is a little, I don't know, these are their boarding passes. And, Steve, well, they didn't know how to write yet, so Steve just put an X by his name, and Bunny put 2 X's because he wanted to be better than Steve, and he didn't want anyone to think that Steve actually wrote his name for him. And this says, and traveling, and it is blank for journaling purposes. Woohoo! Okay, and then we have this picture of the guys reaching the harbor in England, and there's a lot of stuff going on. Here's a picture of England. Here they are in the midst of all the chaos of getting off the ship. There's a pocket at the bottom. Here it says Port of England. This is Westminster Abbey. And this says, yay, dry land. Everyone was bustling about on deck in readiness to disembark. Before they had left home, Mama had packed water wings and shark repellent in their backpacks and told the boys to keep them close just in case of tragedy, as she was always fond of saying. So the boys had never taken them off, not even once. They slept and even showered with them, but now they were safe. Bunny and Steve breathed out a sigh of relief together. Phew! So the boys could finally take off their backpacks. And this is just a little tag with some writing paper on the back and some lovely flowers. And then this is the story of the English. I have this really old book with a bunch of history of English times. And there's some washi tape around the edges. This is the Charing Cross Academy, established in 1840, Wall of Fame. And this is, there's the boys looking up at the Wall of Fame, and every year they pick the best student, and they get their picture up there. And these are all the ones that have gone by so far, but this is only one of many Walls of Fame, because, you know, they had one for every year. So there are tons and tons of Walls of Fame with bunnies. And this says, every possibility begins with the courage to imagine. The boys found themselves standing in front of the Wall of Fame. These pictures represented the best student from the year they attended. 1840 was the first year in operation. Walls of Fame were in every corridor they passed. They knew that they had their work cut out for them if they wanted a place on that wall. And here's a little card. It says, if you obey all the rules, you miss all the fun. It's from Katharine Hepburn. And then here is another page, and they have met a teacher. And it says, here's a little card. It says, Bunny and Steve see a classroom, meet a teacher, and make some friends. And then it says, never let anyone dull your sparkle. And this is just a tag with a butterfly, and I think that's like on a report card or something. And so on this one, this was a picture in the book also, and I covered it with paper from a pattern to soften it down and make it look older. Okay, and here is a picture of the boys, and this is Charing Cross, which is not a school, but I made it a school for this purpose. And inside here is a little, of course, more stuff about the story. You can't have a story without stuff to write about it. This is the academy and dormitory of Bunny and Steve for the next 9 years. Everything is housed in the same building. It's easier to keep track of the students this way. It's quite unbelievable how touchy some parents become when you call to tell them you have misplaced their child. Anyway, Bunny and Steve are excited and anxious to start their new journey. However, we are out of room, so their hijinks and madcap shenanigans will have to wait until the next volume, titled Bunny and Steve, Hijinks and Madcap Shenanigans. See you then. Just look at all this journaling space. Woohoo! There's a whole bunch. So, this is some of the teachers that they're going to have. This guy is Professor Fitzsimmons for mathematics. He looks like a fine teacher. And this is, Professor Winklebottom for history. And this is Professor Maryhugh for English. So that's their people that are going to be, some of their people that are going to be teaching them. And the back has journaling space. It says thoughts and theories. And there's a heart with fabric, a quilt piece, and a couple of pins on it. This is a big side pocket here that has an envelope in it made out of music paper. And this has, just says peace in the world. It's just a tag. And this says, hold on, adventure, travel, voyage, journal. And this is just a piece of paper to journal on as well. And this page, there's Bunny and Steve laying on blankets again, having a little picnic. And it says, because a picnic is certainly more fun. And here is another envelope made out of book paper, from this book actually. And inside it said, the boys had taken in a lot of information in the short time they had been here. Their heads were reeling. They gathered up some food in a little basket and found a picnic spot outside on the grounds. The fresh air smelled great. It was so relaxing to lie down and feel the warm sun on your face. All of a sudden, Bunny squeaked, quivering with excitement. Steve, look, shouted Bunny. They do have clouds in England, and I see a Ferris wheel. Are you crazy? Yelled Steve. That's an elephant. And the boys dissolved into giggles. They could still play their favorite game. Yes, the twins agreed this place was going to be all right. And there are the boys with their crowns and a heart. And this, I did a napkin decoupage on this page, and inside are just some tags. This is like with that that paste that, you know, makes it raised up. That, I don't know what you call it, but anyway, it's like from a stencil and with that raised up paste. And this is just a tag that's decorated with various things. And this says, they played in the garden. And this little heart says, delight, live in the moment, and make it so beautiful it will be worth remembering. And this one is just a little booklet made out of bingo cards. And it says, so happy, extraordinarily pleased. And this says, the wind whispered softly in the old trees. And there's a butterfly stamp and a passenger coupon ticket number. I love this paper. It's that really crackly stuff. And here's a little piece of ephemera with a couple of, what do you call those? Butterflies on the back. And here's some flowers. And here is another. Here's the British flag. And there's nothing on the back of that. So that could be for journaling as well. And it says, the birds were singing. He had caught the first magical hints and heraldings of another spring. So that goes in there. And this is, thank goodness, the the very last page. I am so sorry this was so long. This is a bird and some stamping. You lift that up, and there is a pocket underneath it. You also can lift that pocket up, and there is like the actual checkout thing from the library, you know, when you go to a school library. And it says, "The moment you doubt whether you can fly, you cease forever to be able to do it." That's Peter Pan, and J.M. Barrie wrote that. And here's the boys with their wings. And then over here, this, I left this the way it was. This is the actual school pocket, with all of the little, you know, the little things that the school put on, all the little important, you know, I don't know, barcodes and all that stuff. And this is just a guest check and another card thing. This is the actual card that was in the book from these kids that checked out this Pippi Longstocking book, and I thought that was so cute. And this is a little tag, and of course there's something in it. It said it was one of those wonderful, warm, and beautiful summer evenings when you say to yourself, "Ah, this is summer." All the roses glowed in the fragrant dark dusk. Oops. Okay, and this says, "Within your heart, keep one still secret spot where dreams may go." And this is napkin decoupage on either side. It says, "Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path, and leave a trail." Ralph Waldo Emerson said that. And journaling space. Okay, and believe it or not, that's it. I'm done talking. I'm sure if you stuck it out to the end, you're more than happy to hear that I am done talking. So, this will be listed in my Etsy shop, and you guys have a wonderful day, and thanks for hanging in there with me. Okay, bye-bye.